If I brought forth judgment in the civil and criminal courthouses in Seminole and Orange counties in the state of Florida on August 12, 2008 at 10:40 in the morning, then would not Revelations been fulfilled in the federal courthouse in the Middle District of Florida in 2018 at 9:20 in the morning? So how can Jesus have a second coming? And in the definition of the second coming, it says when Jesus is going to judge the world, right? Then how can not the truth be Jesus? So, I mean, think about it though. If it's got to be justice, then it has to be the truth versus the lie, right? So my truth made me the plaintiff, right, in the civil courthouse on October 4th in 2007. I was the plaintiff. Now, how did I become the defendant if I was the plaintiff first? So did I not, in October 4th, 2007, enter in my truth as evidence? Now, that case that I opened on October 4th in 2007, I had a lawyer. I did not open that case. My lawyer opened up that case, Don Morrison. See? Now, that's why I sued him for professional malpractice. Then the slaves started laughing at me. It's professional malpractice. That's for doctors. And see, I'm saying, see how ignorant a person, they mock you because they ignorant. And you saying, well, no, I read this in the law book and I'm following the law book. Now you would tell me you following the Bible to show yourself approved. And I'm saying, well, what side of the Bible is you choosing? Because it's two sides. It's the people who persecuted Jesus, and then it's Jesus and 12 disciples. See, Jesus only had 12 disciples. One of those was Judas, and one of those were Peter, who Jesus himself called Satan. Right? And now the people who sees Peter as a saint try to explain to me that Jesus didn't call him, didn't mean that. I'm saying, well, how do you know what Jesus meant when he said what he meant according to what this said he said, right? So now, if this is what somebody heard Jesus say and they wrote it with confidence saying he said it, then why would anybody try to then say what Jesus meant? Like, how do you know what he meant? You only know what he said, right? But now you say you have discernment. And I'm saying, well, how do you have discernment and you don't know the law? So aren't you just like our ancestors who was denied the right to read and write, and now you denying the children the right to know the law because you saying that the only thing they need to know is what the slave masters gave our ancestors, but they couldn't read? And I'm saying, man, you worse than a slave master, man, because you getting paid to deceive us, right? If you can read, then why you not being more financially responsible for those for whom you teaching? See, why do they have to pay you to educate them? What kind of spiritual father are you? That would be like me charging my daughter and my son for the knowledge that I'm giving to them. Like, when then they saying, well, I didn't ask to be born. I didn't ask to be your child. So why are you charging me for being your child? See, but now I understand y'all in the spiritual sense because they are choosing to follow y'all. So if they choosing y'all, then they supposed to be responsible for what they choose, right? So if my daughter chose me to be her father, then hey, these are the what I need to be your father. I need you to be this kind of child. I need you to be this, boom, boom, boom. But see, in life, it's not like that. You get what you get. right? And my daughter, my son stuck with me like I'm stuck with them, right? But because I love their mother, I was in love with them, and I chose to become the type of father I became. So like I used to tell my daughter and my son, right? If you say I'm a bad father, then I'm a bad father because I'm your father, right? But if you a bad child, then you letting the world know I'm a bad father because of who you are, right? So how can I claim to be a good father and produce a bad child? So where's the evidence of me being a good father? See what I'm saying? See, that's what I'm trying to tell my children. But how can your Jesus tell you that when he only said what he said, right? And you say he said that, right? But what is the example if you following in your father's footsteps, right? Jesus was poor as I am, and he told the rich man, according to Luke 14, for whom Luke was a disciple of Paul, for whom name is Saul, right? So this is what I'm saying. How can you listen to Luke about Jesus when Luke heard about Jesus from Paul, for whom is Saul, for whom heard it from Peter, for whom Jesus said, if you deny me before man, I'll deny you before my Father. So how did Jesus then accept Peter? See, somebody lying on Jesus, man. Right? I mean, come on, you can read the scripture and it said that God is not the author of confusion. So that means I should listen to either John or Matthew, for whom are one of the original disciples of Jesus. I should only listen to anyone who was a direct disciple of Jesus. Anybody else is a disciple of Saul. See what I'm saying? So that's why you using somebody else's evidence against me, because you using your father's evidence, for whom was a liar and a murderer from the beginning. How they can't be talking about Saul, man, when he killed Christians, he was killing them. So he is the liar and the murderer from the beginning, according to scripture, man. So that's why y'all are liars and murderers in the end.